All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're doing something that we have not done in a long time, and we're reacting to a Celtics trade. Yes, we used to do these years ago. Every single trade rumor, every single actual trade that went through. But today, the Celtics have traded for Anfernee Simons. They've got 2 second-round picks coming their way as well in exchange for Jrue Holiday. So we're going to dive into that trade. I'm going to talk about it, give my thoughts on it. We'll watch some Anfernee Simons highlights. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of give you my full take on whether or not this helps the Celtics both next year and in the long run. So let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. So first off, let's just look at the the players that were involved in this trade from a comp perspective. Anfernee Simons, obviously younger, so Jrue Holiday, some of these numbers may be sort of at the tail end of his career, but that's just a point in favor of Anfernee Simons, right? So this is last season, 62 over 70 games, points per game. Simons obviously had much more of a workload, had more assists as well. We do have to remember and keep in mind that these are going to be a lot more of, numbers that Simons had more either minutes, more attempts, more usage, that type of stuff. But even still, you're talking about a young guy compared to an older guy, right? So at the same time, maybe that's a good thing. 3-point percentage he was a little bit higher up on. Effective field goal percentage, steals, blocks. Obviously, those are things that Jrue Holiday did a little well. In terms of his contract, so we can take a peek at this right here. You could see his last few years on Portland. This is the only season the Celtics have him under contract for. This one coming up, right? He's going to be 26, 24, 25, 26 season, 28 mil. That's a decent amount of moolah to be throwing, Anfernee Simons' way, if I'm being completely honest. But still, 1 year, they can kind of decide what they want to do with him after that, as he is an unrestricted free agent the next year. So you dumped Jrue Holiday, right? Because of the money, because of all that, which makes total sense. And you got a guy that may be somewhat expensive, but for what you're getting, but on a 1-year deal. So I think you're going to be okay, right? So why don't we go ahead and dive into some highlights here from Anfernee Simons, and we'll see what we're looking at here, because I do think he's going to add some to the Celtics offense. One thing is that he loves to shoot the 3, which we'll see in these highlights. That's obviously something that the Celtics prioritize. So yeah, if this isn't a money move, let's try and figure out if this guy can at least help the Celtics next season. Let's do it. Obviously good off the dribble there. When I think of Simons, I think of, getting a screen and pulling up. But he's got a little bit of burst to him. Again, he's still only 26. If they want him long-term, they could probably figure that out. He is a good player that's been kind of stuck in Portland, is how I would frame it. You know what I mean? I have a feeling this could be a pull-up. Nope, they're showing all his drives first. Oh, nice dime, actually. So if he's going to prioritize getting to the hoop, that might be something the Celtics need. But I think this, what we just saw right there, bang, that's a little bit more of what we're going to get out of Anfernee Simons. You know what I mean? There's a step back 3 as well. Like, that's what I've seen out of him. When I'm taking Anfernee Simons and props and whatnot, I'm either looking at his 3s or his points because of the quantity. It's not always quality, but the quantity. But also, he's diming it up in these highlights, huh? All right, he's got 2 guys on him. Is this Jason Williams? Have I clocked Anfernee Simons wrong for like 3 years? Nice and 1 move there. All right, I don't know did he get that? Was that him stealing that? Not really, but this must be a good pass or something. That was kind of a cool pass. I'll give him that. That's more of like a Denny Advia highlight, but yeah, I'll give him that. All right. Anfernee Simons dimes it up. I feel like I know he only averaged 4.5 assists per game, but this looks good. Oh, against his current team. Step back, in Al's face. Bang. Let's watch that again. This is what I've seen. He manipulates that pick and roll really well, right? He gets the switch, and then he's not thinking of going by Al here whatsoever. He wants to get Al on his heels. Boom. Did you see Al stumble? And then he pulls back, knows he's there. Nice pull-up. Good form, quick release. Bang. So obviously that's a good spot for him. Another pick and roll. Kind of get some space. He gets the big man on his heels. I like that. Watch Dern right here, right? He's going to get on his heels. We'll try and stop it. Boom. Heels, and now you got him. You're gone. A point guard or shooting guard, I guess, going by a big on his heels, easy as day. Little Jimmy, is that over Wemby? Was that over Wemby? I mean, not hey, that might be over Wemby. I'm not sure. Good rebound there. Yeah, I mean, the kid can play. I think we know that. I think we know this kid can play. So it's going to be a matter of how much does he help this team. And realistically, we kind of buried the lead here. With no Tatum next year, or potentially no Tatum next year, having a guy that can have the ball in his hands, shoot, pass, dribble, drive, score, that is absolutely massive. And at the end of the day, Jrue Holiday was not going to be that, right? And Jrue Holiday, obviously, with his contract, that was a salary that they were looking to unload. So, yeah, I don't necessarily want to sit here and say that Anfernee Simons is going to be some savior to the Celtics team. But guys, for what it's worth, this might be exactly what the Celtics need, at least to progress a little, or at least stay at bay, for this season, because things were not looking all that great. We're looking at a situation when this is probably one of a couple big deals coming our way, and this at least you got some talent in return for. If they move Brown, Porzingis, White, they did move Holiday, all these guys, it's going to be salary dumps. We know that. That's what they're in this offseason for, in a sense. Getting talent in return is going to be tough. And they did it with Anfernee Simons here. So I do sign off on this one. Give me an Ev stamp of approval. I like the trade. I love Jrue Holiday. Let me take the next couple minutes to say how thankful I am that he became a Celtics. Massive, massive Celtic in terms of, championship pedigree, helping them win last year, being defensive, being sort of an anchor of the defense, replacing the much needed void of Marcus Smart when we traded him. It's like, what are we going to do? Well, we got Jrue Holiday. So Jrue Holiday did everything and more for the Celtics team, especially at his age. So yeah, I think this might be an on-court offensive upgrade. You're not going to replace his defense. But again, Jrue Holiday being, 36 or something like that, we were in for a big-time downslide. So I think we got out a little early. You throw in the money. I give this trade a big old stamp of approval. So guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's video. Let me know what you think of the Anfernee Simons move down in the comments. Grade it. A, B, C, D, F. I'm probably going to give this one, I would say, a B+. I think this is a good deal. You get 2 second-rounders, and you got the main goal of dumping Jrue Holiday's salary at an old age. So yeah, I give this one a B+, maybe even an A-. It has the potential to be an A-, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.